Wow, it wasn't pretty, but we got the win, we got the 3 points, and that was the most important thing. With McTominay getting 2 injury time winners, Johnny Evans, Harry Maguire, and Scott McTominay. 3 players I didn't want anywhere near the Manchester United starting lineup at the beginning of the season, but 3 players that were faultless today, and the 3 best players on the pitch that helped us get that must-needed win over the line. And people, maybe are underestimating the magnitude of this win. Like, we needed to win this game. This was a must-win game. And I think the fact that we went 1-0 down, and you could see that the players were playing with zero confidence, zero belief, and then they ended up winning that game 2-1. I think one of the biggest problems at United is a mentality problem. You can see that by the way that we've gone into so many games actually dominating the opening 20, 25 minutes, but not really creating enough, not really making it count. Then we concede a goal, and it thought it was going to be deja vu, where we just concede a goal and we just know we're going to play 75 minutes of nothing, of lobbing the ball over, not really creating anything. And it was that game again. It was that game completely again, like it has been against Brighton and Crystal Palace and Bayern Munich, how we would play well for 20 minutes, concede a silly goal, and then we knew we were going to lose the game. But this time we won the game in the most extraordinary manner, a 93rd and 97th minute winner. And I think the shift that that's going to give us in terms of mentality, I think could be massive, because it gave us some belief. When we equalised at 1-1, they had belief they were going to win it. I felt until minute 90, they had no belief they were even going to make it 1-1. And then they had belief they were going to win it. And I have to say, I thought Maguire was brilliant. I thought Johnny Evans was brilliant. I thought Lindelof was horrific. I thought Casemiro was horrific. I thought Onana was horrific. I thought Amrabat was quite good. I saw someone criticising online, but he was breaking the lines and all of that. And before I even get into my review of the players, the performance, Ten Hag, the problems, the positives, the negatives, I did see this, and I completely agree with this. He said, I don't think we can underestimate the magnitude of a win like this. So far this season, a lot has gone against us. Injuries, VAR decisions, and missed chances. Finally, we've got the luck to get us over the line. I feel like that is the first time we've ever had some luck. I feel like we've had no luck all season. He says, this is massive for Erik ten Hag, under pressure and going into every game knowing it's a must win. And today was more important than ever, especially going into the international break. At least for the next 2 weeks, we'll have somewhat of a positive atmosphere surrounding the club with a bit more confidence and belief, rather than negativity that's surrounded the club over the last few weeks. I feel like it could be the turning point of our season, and I really hope that kicks the players into gear after going into the break. And I agree with this. I think this could be the turning point of our season. I think, just before the World Cup, Garnacho got a 90th minute winner versus Fulham. And then we went into the World Cup, obviously, and that was a much longer break. But the best we've ever been under Erik ten Hag was post-World Cup, that sort of December, January, February period. And then I think it all went wrong. The injuries caught up to us. But that win just before the international break, that positive mindset going into the break was so important. And I think, for me, the biggest issue at United is there's many issues. Obviously, the biggest issue is our owners and everything, but there's many issues at United. Tactically, there's a few things I don't agree with Ten Hag. A few players just aren't good enough. But the biggest issue for me at United is the lack of confidence we're playing with. The lack of the players have no faith. The body language of the players, the lack of confidence. So the fact that we have turned it around and ended up winning 2-1. I hope that this just gives some players some much needed confidence. I think the biggest problem for me is the mentality and confidence of the players, on top of the lack of athleticism. And I'm going to be honest, I saw a lot of people saying Ten Hag out, and everyone has every right to criticise Ten Hag. I've got things I'm critical with Ten Hag in, but I'm Ten Hag in, but I am critical of Ten Hag, and he does frustrate me with some of his decisions. But I think Ten Hag deserved that. I think Ten Hag deserved that, and I think Ten Hag deserved the win. And the reason I'm going to say that is because, again, I don't think we were good. It wasn't a pretty performance, but I don't think Brentford deserved to win that game 1-0. Brentford got a lucky goal from a silly mistake and part of the bus and time wasted. Brentford didn't deserve to win 1-0. We were just rubbish, and Brentford weren't great either, and I think we deserved the point. I think 1-1 was what we deserved from that game. Luckily, we actually got a 2-1 win. But I looked at Erik ten Hag and I thought, he doesn't deserve to lose this game, because you know what? He's playing a back four of Lindelof, who's dreadful, Maguire, Dello, and Evans, and I have to say Evans and Maguire were fantastic, and we've lost the game, which we've dominated 20, 25 minutes in, looked the better team comfortably for 20, 25 minutes, because Casemiro's given the ball away stupidly yet again. Lindelof's just done an absolute pathetic clearance and not doing his job yet again. And then Onana can't make a simple save. People will lose that game and everyone will be Ten Hag out, Ten Hag out, Ten Hag out. But I think, it's not good that Ten Hag's lost that game. And yes, tactically, he should have adapted it to turn it around, and he did in the end. But, it was a game where Casemiro gives the ball away yet again. Lindelof's just embarrassing, and Onana should have made the save. It was 3 mistakes, which Ten Hag gets the blame for. So I'm so happy we won the game in the sense of, I don't think Ten Hag deserved to lose that game. It was his players had lost it for him. The players are the problem for me. The lack of mentality, the fact that they were giving up, the fact that midfielders aren't tracking their runners constantly, losing the ball, lack of athleticism. Obviously, a lot of that does go back to Erik Ten Hag, 100%. A lot of it will go back to Erik Ten Hag. But for me, it was a lot more than that. Because the players this season have been nothing short of an embarrassment, and I think a lot of them have given up. But there were positives. I thought Harry Maguire was phenomenal today. I think he does deserve to start ahead of Victor Lindelof, or Johnny Evans does in the next game. 2 aerial duels, one really good passing out from the back, played the ball out the back so well. And I have to say, this was the best I'd seen Maguire. And, obviously with injuries and stuff, if Lindelof might be injured, but I would actually start Maguire ahead of Lindelof. If we haven't got Varane and we haven't got Martinez, I would probably play Maguire. And I have to say, a 94th minute goal made the difference, because we looked like scoring 2 goals in 2 minutes. I forgot to mention this earlier. The goal was important. The confidence was important, because we didn't look like scoring for 90 minutes. Then we scored a goal in the 94th minute, and we looked like scoring 2 in those final 2 minutes. It made a massive difference for me as well. But I did want to talk about Maguire. I did think he was really good. I thought he was dominant in the air. I thought he was winning his ground duels. He was a proper leader at the back, and he played a lot of line-breaking passes, which did help us sustain pressure, especially because we were playing with the long balls and stuff, and he even got an assist. So for me, I think Harry Maguire was probably arguably man of the match. Maguire and Johnny Evans were arguably man of the match. I thought Amrabat was good playing those line-breaking passes, but I was most impressed with Harry Maguire, in all honesty. I'll show you Amrabat's numbers here. 87 minutes played, 75 touches, 97% pass accuracy, 3 key passes from Amrabat, 4 out of 4 long balls completed. Amrabat's passing was on point today, and we needed that. I think one of the big problems we've had this season is in terms of retention and our ability to break lines in the second phase of the pitch, which is midfield. We're very poor in the midfield, and that's why we're often doing long balls and avoiding it, because we don't have a midfielder that's someone that can just pass the ball, progress the ball, carry the ball forward. And what Amrabat added in that midfield today, which I think went a bit under the radar, was he just had the ability to get the ball and play those line-breaking passes and progress the ball forward without giving it away. Casemiro tries a pass, he gives it away. All of a sudden, Brentford score from that. Bruno tries passes, gives it away. We actually have a player in Amrabat that can make those passes, that is a natural passer of the ball, because one of our biggest problems is giving the ball away stupidly in midfield. And Amrabat's that one guy that is very comfortable on the field, very comfortable on the ball, can make those passes, can progress. He can give the ball to the attack without having to do this stupid long ball thing, which makes us lose control. And he also could fill in at centre back at the end there when Lindelof came off injured. So I was really impressed with Amrabat and what I saw with Amrabat. And what was noticeable in today's game, and Ethan Talk summed it up really noticeably, was the gaps between the first and second line of our team. And this was Casemiro. Casemiro as the 6 should be linking between the centre backs and the 8s, but Casemiro has not provided that. That didn't matter so much last season, because last season Casemiro was just phenomenal out of possession. So it didn't matter that he wasn't the link in terms of in possession, but because out of possession he won all his duels, he protected the back four, which was so important. But obviously Casemiro has gone from winning 80% of his duels to winning 30% of his duels, which is just a massive difference. And I think a big part of that is probably due to his athleticism decline because of his age, and maybe the fact that the players aren't running as much around him, so he's getting more exposed more. But now Casemiro is not doing his job out of possession. He's got to do his job in possession, and he's not been doing his job in possession. I like Casemiro. I don't think he's at fault. I don't think he's a bad player, but I think recently he has been at fault. He's been trying to play those first-time balls a lot. He's been giving the ball away so sillily. And, we already have Bruno, who's not a ball retention player. Mason Mount's known for his qualities off the ball. We have 3 midfielders who are known for not being good on the ball and been known for being error-prone with his passing. And that's what cost us a goal today. But then Amrabat comes into the midfield instead of Casemiro, and all of a sudden we can keep the ball. In the second half, while I didn't think we looked like scoring for 90 minutes, and in terms of a goal threat, it was a little bit embarrassing. You could see a Manchester United side that could keep and retain the ball. And that's why I think going back to basics is the most important thing. And I think Erik Ten Hag tried to do that today. He played Casemiro and Amrabat as a dual pivot. He played as defensive as he could. He didn't play anyone out of position other than Lindelof because he had to. And we still went 1-0 down and we were still poor. And we still didn't like scoring, and we still looked clueless off the ball, which is something that needs to be worked on. But, that win might give us belief, because as soon as we got that goal in the 94th minute, we had 2 minutes where we looked like we knew what we got to do on the ball. But I think, for me, Erik Ten Hag went back to basics today as much as he could. And I think that's what he's got to do. Erik ten Hag's brought in possession-based players. He wants to play possession-based football. But with this team, with this injuries, we're going to have to go back to counter-attack, very basic football, which is annoying because it's unbalanced. We've got players to come in that suit possession-based football, and we've got players that suit counter-attacking football, and we need to find that balance. But I think right now, when things aren't going our way, you just have to go back to that counter-attacking football just to get a string of results. You know, like we did last season, we lost the opening 2 games to Brentford and Brighton playing possession-based football. We realised we didn't have the players for it, and we went back to the basics. And I think today he tried to go back to the basics. Obviously, we don't have the personnel for it. Hopefully, we'll have the international break. But I think going back to the basics and having people like Amrabat who can do a defensive shift and keep the ball, 4-2-3-1, maybe not playing 2-8s, maybe dropping one of Mount and Bruno, that might be the way to get us through to the season. And look, it wasn't a good one. We didn't play well. We didn't look like we were going to score. We looked out of ideas. We were slow. We were lethargic. But with the way we've been playing, I said, I don't care how we get the 3 points as long as we get the 3 points today. That's how I feel. I'm happy because we got the 3 points, and that's the most important thing. I'm happy with Johnny Evans. I'm happy with Maguire. I'm happy with Amrabat. You know, I've got critical of Onana. He needs to improve. I'm critical of Casemiro, critical of Bruno, critical of a lot of players. But the most important thing, especially Lindelof, I'm very critical of at the moment, is that we got the 3 points. So big up to McTominay for saving us there. Smash a like, smash a subscribe. I might have a live stream tonight to talk about it. See you next time. Bye.